What I really want to talk about is actually dollar as a reserve currency, Secretary Lew, and this is something that you alluded when we started off the conversation. Why does it not actually really lose its appeal in less than 10 years if the U.S. continues going the way it is?
Look, at the moment, I don't see an alternative out there. There were times when people thought that either the euro or the yen or the RMB would emerge as a near-term alternative. I think if you look over the next 5 or 10 years, it is hard to imagine that it's going to be a process that's that quick. I'm being very careful when I say this is a multi-decade process. The special position the United States has in the world because the dollar is the world reserve currency is one of the reasons we have the ability to have the deepest and most liquid bond markets in the world. It's the reason we can exercise the sanctions authority that we exercise. It's of enormous consequence to the United States to maintain that. I think if you just turn the speed up on a movement away, it is against the national interest. So I'm not sitting here predicting it's going to be in the next 5 or 10 years. And I think if there were an alternative, I might be in a position where I would be more concerned about it being quicker. I think it's pretty scary if you take what could be a 50-year process and you accelerate it by 10 or 15 or 20 years.
But does China want to be that? Does China fill that vacuum?
I think at the moment, China wants to have it both ways. They want to be taken very seriously as one of the two major economies of the world. They wanted their currency, the RMB, to be accepted by the IMF into the special drawing rights basket. They don't really want their currency to be fully convertible and subject to all market pressures the way a world reserve currency would have to be. Do they want that in the long term? Possibly. What I do think is that there are conversations between Chinese and Europeans looking at ways to develop alternatives to settling in dollars and going through things like SWIFT.